Okay, so please give a warm welcome to Zarif. Good.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm glad to see all you here. I'm sorry for this technical issue. Probably I will go just without notes. And I'm excited to do my very first talk on the React Prague meetup. And today I will talk about how to build Expo applications with unusual targets. Let me start with a small survey. Uh, I want to define what is the unusual target. And we as React developers, the most common task for us is developing the web applications. And I want to ask you, raise your hand if you think that mobile application development is the unusual thing. Okay, not that much, and it's correct because thanks to React Native, the mobile application development is not that unusual these days. What about TV? We got more hands. And last thing, what about wearables? Okay, I think the same amount here. Um, Actually, when I post on the LinkedIn that I will have a talk here, and I mentioned there something that I will talk about unusual platforms, and I mentioned there mobile, I get this comment. I'm not sure if you can all see it, but the guy here is just sarcastically saying that mobile is not that unusual these days. And I totally agreed with it. Actually, also, TV apps is not that unusual these days because few years ago you was able to do TV apps with the React Native. Now even Expo supports the building of TV applications. So today I will try to focus mostly on the variables and other useful targets such as widgets and live activities. Before we continue, let me introduce myself. My name is Zarif Abdalimov. I'm a front-end engineer at STRV. Mostly I'm focusing on the React Native development. I like to develop applications for mobile, TV, and wearables. I'm from Kazakhstan. And one fact about me is that I love play football. And me and my colleagues from STRV, we were playing football almost whole summer, every Friday. And actually, after each match, we were quite confused because actually no one of us actually knew what was the scores because nobody was just tracking it. And after one of this match, and it was because we were playing on a small field, and usually on these fields the scores are like about 20 goals each team. So after one of these matches, we agreed that I will develop application for the Apple Watch, and with this application we will be able to easily track the goals. And I did it. I developed the application called Scorio. Don't try to find it on the Apple Store. It's not there yet. Where is my water? Okay, I will keep going without water. So basically, this is the application built on Expo, but it has the Apple Watch pair device. And it was really simple. You just create the account, create the match, and then after you open the match detail, you'll see these two buttons on your Apple Watch, and you'll be able to track the goals for each team. And here's a short video. Thank you. Here's a short video how it actually works. So you create account with a Google or email and password, then create the match. When you open the match details, it automatically opens on your Apple Watch. And when you're starting to score the scores for the red or black team, it reflects on the mobile app as well. And if you're opening another match, it just starts again. Sorry. And let me tell you a story how I built this app. As I already said, I built this app with the Expo, and um, I built the mobile app with the Expo. The Apple Watch app I built with, actually you can pre-build the iOS project with the Expo, then open the iOS project in the Xcode, create the WatchOS target, and then implement the Apple Watch application in Swift. And then for the mobile application, you will need to implement native modules to communicate with the Apple Watch. And probably for this native module and for your Apple Watch, you will use Watch Connectivity Framework, which is a framework basically for sending messages between mobile application and Apple Watch application. And this is the easiest part. The hard part is to develop a config plugin. And it's a little bit hard to explain, especially without my notes, but Expo has this technology called continuous native generation, which actually means that when it's built the iOS project, it use the config plugin. And since you adding the new Apple target, you're doing some changes to the native code, you need to write your own config plugin, which is quite hard to implement, and it can be hard to maintain if you will have the application with the different targets. And I was talking with my colleagues about this project, and one guy, actually this is my manager, Matej Polak, he suggests me to try to use library called Expo Apple Targets by Evan Bacon. And actually, Evan Bacon is a pretty famous guy. He's one of the developer of Expo, and he is the author of Expo Router, which is one of the most popular libraries for the React Native for the routing. And he developed this library called Expo Apple Targets that allows us to easily create and implement unusual Apple targets, such as watch app with the watch with the companion iOS app clip, share extension, and many others. Actually, we can take a look right now. Okay, we can probably. I'm not sure what's going on. Sorry for this delay. Okay, we will not take a look to the full list. And basically what this library do, you're just writing the npx create target and then selecting the target that you want to implement, and it adds all configuration files and the native code. And here's a short video how it basically works. So as you can see, if I long press the app icon, I can see only two options here. And now I want to add the widget to this app. And we are opening a terminal, writing npx create target, then selecting the target type, which is widget. And now we can take a look to the generated code. It creates the targets folder with the widget, and it has the config files and the files with the actual native code that are linked to your iOS project. So if you're doing some changes here, it reflects on the iOS project. And now we need to rebuild the iOS project. So delete the folder, then npm run iOS. It takes some time. And after our app is ready, we can close it. Again, long press, and now we can see the widget options. So if you press it, it will open the widget. And it's that easy. Okay, maybe during this presentation you ask yourself, why do I even need to know how to develop Apple Watch applications? And you're absolutely right. Most likely you won't need to implement Apple Watch application any time in your life. But actually the principle is the same for many other targets. And most probably you'll need to implement something like widget or live activities, because for instance, if you're using some taxi services, it got these live activities that telling you where's your taxi, or if you're using the maps, it tells you navigation. I want to show you a little technical showcase, and if it's not, if it's will not lag. Sorry guys, I got a lot of technical issues today. But basically what I want to show you is that when you got this widget application, it has, here's the counter. And in your mobile application, you can change the value of this counter and it will instantly reflect on the widget. And there is a technology. Oh shit! Sorry guys, but it doesn't work today. But there is just some native module that is a part of Apple Expo Apple targets, which is called the extension storage, and basically you can on this lagging version I still can still able to send it. You can set the value of inside of the storage, and then read the values inside your native code, and this the easy way how you can share some state values between your native application and React Native application. Yeah, if I will summarize what I tell you, you can build apps for unusual targets inside Expo using Expo Apple targets. The targets must be implemented in Swift. There is no React Native support yet. And to communicate with these targets, you can write the native modules. You can use but for each target, it requires usually it requires the different approach. For instance, for the Apple Watches, you will communicate with the watch connectivity framework. With the widget, you can use the extension storage and so on. Yeah, I want to thank you for listening. Sorry for these technical issues that I got today. And thank you, Petya, for organizing this meetup and for having me here. And see ya next time.
Thank you. We also have some questions, if you can see.
Okay. Speaking of unusual devices, can we run Expo React Native applications on Samsung Smart Fridge? Actually, this is the question from my friend Kirill. He's sitting there, and I'm not sure. Next question. Why is there a black team and no blue team in this choreo? Who is the Ondra V? It's not my colleague, I don't know him. Why Expo and not RNCLI? Actually, this is the only one meaningful question here, I think. Yeah, actually, I'm not sure how to answer for this question because it's not quite related to the topic of this talk. But generally, I think that Expo just the framework that built on top of React Native, and gives you a lot of different libraries for the communicating with the native modules, and it's just in most cases it's just more comfortable to develop with it. So yeah.
Okay, I think that was the last question from Slido. What about audience? Do you have any question? Yeah, there's a request that you should ship it.
Yeah.
uh,
Most probably
Maybe
I'll
next
have
time.
some time to work on internal project this month. Maybe we'll ship it.
Okay, thank you very much. And